Well, yeah, he's one of our better players. I think one of the better players at his position in the league. So he has an ACL, so he'll be out. Uh, we'll have a tremendous amount of support for him, uh, his family. It's obviously a tough loss for our football team, but we'll regroup and we'll get the guys ready to play that are here, um, and be as good as we can be on the perimeter. I know those guys will do everything they can do to be as good as we can be. But certainly, when you lose one of your better players, that's a big loss.
What's the concern level that is there's any additional damage in the knee aside from just the ACL?
Yeah, I know it's an ACL. So again, we're here for Malik. He'll go through, you know, whenever the surgery is, the rehab, but that's, it's the day after the injury.
And how's Jaxson feeling today? You mentioned yesterday even that he was probably going to be pretty sore. He took a
Well,
lot of hits there. How's he doing?
yeah, he's doing good. Yep, he's doing good.
And so you anticipate him being able to practice tomorrow, whatever, Wednesday.
I do.
Okay. Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
Paul Schwartz.
Hey, Brian. Hey.
Morning.
Morning. How much would you say it looked like the offense looked considerably different yesterday from what you ran the first three games? How much was it different, and how much of a effort is there with you and Mike and the whole offensive staff to make it different to cater to a new quarterback?
Well, I think you always try to cater your quarterbacks. Again, we did what we thought we needed to do for this week against the Chargers and their defensive scheme and how they played. I thought we controlled the game well, and that helped. Over 40 rushes in a game always helps a young quarterback. But again, we just did what we thought we needed to do for this week.
Dan, one more. You've talked about how much you like Jaxson, and even though he's a rookie, confidence and everything about him. When in your mind, and it's only one start, is it a situation where you say, okay, we gave him this, we give him more, we can give him more? Like I'm thinking about the interception after Dex ran it back to the 3. There were 3 runs there, which didn't really get much. You know what I mean? So, and then later in the game, he threw on third down and hit Theo. Is there going to be more of that? How do you balance that? Because you always say it's a rookie quarterback. We got to be careful with him, but you have great confidence in him as well.
Yeah, well, the decision to run the ball didn't matter if he was a rookie quarterback or a 15-year quarterback. We
Really?
thought they were the best team in the league in red zone defense. We thought we had a chance to control the line of scrimmage. We missed out on a few things down there in the red zone. We had scat one-on-one with a corner. The guy made a good play. We had a kind of a scramble play to Wandale. So, yeah, I have a lot of confidence in Jaxson and the guys around him. So, in that situation, with the 3rd and 5 at the end of the game or the red zone, that really was, part of the plan going in of what we wanted to try to do down there. We still got a lot of work to do, obviously. But we need to make some of those plays when we get down there to, get the ball into the end zone.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dan Duggan.
Hey, Brian, you obviously added a lot of talent up front, or you have a lot of talent up front on defense. How much, it's 4 weeks in, has it been just trying to figure out how the pieces fit together and where you're going to play guys? Because obviously they're versatile, but they have strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, I think we have a number of personnel groupings, Dan, with different people in different spots. Kayvon played a little bit more inside this week. Maybe not necessarily the early couple weeks. I think we have some versatility there. And again, I think it depends on, what you're getting from the offenses you're seeing. There was a lot of different personnel groups that we were getting ready for with LA. So again, I think week to week, it just depends on what we're seeing. And then, matchup wise, if we can get them into certain situations, obviously they were throwing the football a lot, which helped our front guys be able to tee off and, try to disrupt the quarterback. Again, it's really week to week.
Thanks.
Yep.
Ryan Dunleavy.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey. Obviously with Malik going down, everybody bumps up the depth chart. How confident are you here in who you got behind Slayton and Wandale? Like, obviously, this presents as a big opportunity for Bo or Hyatt.
Mhm.
What do you make? Are those guys ready for the snap count that comes with being the number 3 receiver in this offense?
Yeah, they wouldn't be here if they weren't. So we had obviously a lot of confidence in the three guys that we have. Malik goes down, and we have confidence in the guys that are behind them. Whether it's Bo, whether it's High, Gunner knows multiple roles. We have some guys on the practice squad that we like. So we'll get ready to play with the guys that we have, and I'm confident in all those guys.
Does looking outside enter the equation? Free agency, trade, etc.,
Yeah.
whoever might be available outside, or not at this point? You got to go through it first.
Yeah, I'd say we're less than 24 hours or right around there from the game. So again, I'm confident in the guys that we have on our football team.
And then from a offensive line standpoint, I guess two things. One, what did you see from the group? And then two, Andrew Thomas went from 25 snaps to 76 snaps, which is, I don't know if that's what you were planning or if there was more of a, you know, stepping stone. How did you think he came out of it, and what do you think of the group as a whole?
I think he came out of it fine. I'm sure he's sore just like everybody else. It was a physical game against a physical team. You watch him play the previous 3 weeks, their front and how they played against, Denver's offensive line. It's a physical unit, and he was ready to play. So we knew he would play the whole game unless he needed to come out. That was the plan going in. Again, he kind of hit checkpoints along the way through his rehab process. It was good to have him out here.
Thanks.
Yep.
Evan Barnes.
Hey, Brian.
Morning, Evan.
With the pass rush, I'm curious. There were times we saw Abdul, Brian, Dex, and KT together on the front together. I know we had talked a couple weeks ago about just trying to find ways to get them all on the field together. How pleased were you that not just with their success, but that you guys were able to just get them on the field together just to kind of see more of what they can do, it seems like this game than previous ones?
Yeah, again, each week you go through and decide how you want to play the game in terms of what packages you want to use. It's, there's some flexibility there, but again, those guys like to rush the passer and run off the edge, but you can't just rush them all the time. You have to drop. You have to know your drops, your technique on that stuff when you are dropping. It's not just throw them all in there and they can just do this. So there's I would give them a lot of credit for their flexibility in terms of their mental part of the game. Again, you saw that last week when we were down on inside linebackers and we asked a young rookie to go and just play a different position. Like everybody thinks you can just go do it. You missed out on a lot of practice time, a lot of reads, a lot of things like that. And I think that's a credit to the players being able to handle that stuff mentally.
And I know Burns said this, but he gave a lot of credit to Dex being able to open things up for everybody else. Was this the way Dex played? Do you think that just kind of made it creates a lot more opportunities for those guys just to be able to rush, obviously with guys double teaming him and whatnot?
Well, I don't know. Dex pretty much gets double teamed since I've been here. When he gets double teamed, then the other guy's got to win one-on-one when they have an opportunity to. And there's a couple times that Dex was one-on-one and he was in the backfield. But having a guy like Dexter certainly helps everybody.
And then last thing, you mentioned Abdul taking multiple roles. I'm just curious, how have you seen him kind of adjust to those kind of, being thrown into those multiple positions? You mentioned obviously he's got to learn different things quickly and whatnot. How have you seen him kind of adjust to where he's being lined up in multiple positions?
Yeah, he doesn't blink. He's a football player. So happy we have him.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
We'll take two more. Art Stapleton.
Hey, Dabes, how's it going?
Morning, Art.
Last night, Jaxson talked a lot about his video study during the week and studying the opponent and breaking things down. And, you had mentioned the play to Theo and how he kind of, changed it up with Theo a little bit, went through it by you. I'm just curious, how much of that do you build in with your quarterbacks from the moment you get them in your room? Because for a rookie, to me, at 22 years old, to have the freedom to be able to go to the head coach and say, hey, we saw this, why don't we change this? to call teammates and say, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing." Is that the norm, or is that atypical? And does that fit to what you've seen from Jaxson and how he kind of takes command of the role?
Yeah. I think we got a very good relationship, outside the building, inside the building when we're talking about football. Um, I think he's a unique guy in terms of being able to build relationships amongst his teammates and other people in the building. A lot of people have a lot of trust in him. You meet with these guys quite frequently, and I think it's important, probably the most important thing, that the quarterback can freely express things that he likes and doesn't like, and you try to stay away from the things that they don't like and give them the things that they like so they feel comfortable. And, those guys see the game when they're studying it. They work really hard at doing it. I'd say all the quarterbacks, and, you learn from one another. So when they bring up something, the way they've seen it, you try to always see it through the eyes of the quarterback. It doesn't really matter to me that he's a rookie or if there's a 14-year veteran. That doesn't matter to me. The person that's behind center and getting ready to start and play that game, I want him to feel as comfortable as he can feel going into the game, so he can operate and play as fast and efficient as he can. And our relationship, we talk often, throughout the whole entire day, 7 days a week about things. And I really respect him, the way he sees the game and how he competes.
Thanks, Tapes.
Yep.
Last one, Pat Leonard.
Hey, Brian. Just a question about Jaxson and his usage as well. Obviously, he persevered, showed toughness. That's what you love about him. Just wondering from your standpoint, how can you try to make sure he doesn't take as many hits? Like, is it about talking to him about getting down when he runs? Do you feel like schematically or offensive line wise, you guys can keep some bodies off him? Or is that something you're not concerned about because like you drafted him because you know he can handle it?
Yeah, Pat, I don't think, look, you never want your quarterback taking a lot of hits, but certain quarterbacks are going to play a certain way. And there's a lot of good ones in this league that play a certain way. We're going to try to do everything we can to protect Jaxson. I think that, again, I don't question when he's got the ball in his hands, him making the right decision. You can see maybe a play and say, hey, why? Think about sliding here, bud. And he can give you a perspective of what he saw, or I didn't think this. You got to do a good job in the pocket. He can do a good job too with throwing the ball away sometimes and avoiding some of those hits. But yeah, you don't want your quarterback taking a bunch of them. But again, he made some really, really good plays on some scramble plays and loose plays and kept the offense in really good, favorable situations for most of the night. As good as we've had all year relative to just playing on time, first down, second and short. But again, there was a lot of things we need to clean up with him, and that's what we're doing right now. I'm sure he'll be the first to say that. But, I was very pleased with the command that he had, the decisions that he made. We got a lot of work to do. I know there's going to be some downs along with some of these ups, but I think he's got the right makeup, and we'll put this game to bed and get ready for next week, starting in about an hour.
Really, really quickly, when he tucks it and runs, are you coaching him on, hey, if your first read's not open and it's breaking down, just get out. Let's try to stay on schedule, or is that his instinct kicking in on those plays?
Yeah, I'd say more. It's an instinctive thing. Look, there's a time clock in every quarterback's head, and I think that it's only in their head. Everybody else can watch it and coach, and you can see it, but it's how he senses the pocket. It's what he feels. It's what he sees in that split second of a time, and he's got to make the proper decision, whether that's find an outlet and give it to the back, or a tight end or a receiver that's short and has the ability to run with the football, or make some yards with his feet, and hopefully get down when he can get down. But I've said this before. He's got good instincts. That's something that's hard to coach. The good ones usually have it. And I think that, whether it's preseason games or this game, he's demonstrated some of that, but, certainly a lot of things to clean up. We're going to have to improve on for this next game.